comes up, you'll see Tickling the Psyche. That's the slogan of my company, Paradoxy Products. And it describes what I'm trying to do. It's not graphic design, it's objects, products, real things that you hold in your hand. Although I do some things that are graphic. I've worked with Mirko, and you'll see some of that. But my main focus is trying to create products that will influence the mind of the world. And the purpose, to make the world better. I finished with my making money career. I retired as a lawyer after a full career. I showed my work in design, my private work, to Milton Glejzer, the genius whose work is now hanging around this room. And he agreed with me. I was a designer, not a lawyer. But there's similarities between the two because they both have very tricky minds. Depends what they're doing with those minds. Anyway, I'm paying my debt to society now by trying to design things that will help the world. It sounds naive, but I think I'm in a position to do it. Oh, Danny presentation. That's me. We in? Okay. Now, is this better? I was finding it a little too high in volume before. I rely on the people in the back to tell me if I've achieved the right distance from my mouth. If I have, raise your hand. If I haven't, you want it closer? Louder? Louder? You like that? Not good, not healthy. Okay, we're going to tickle the psyche, see what that means. I'm working harder as a designer than I ever worked as a lawyer. This is my studio, and it may look like I'm loafing or sleeping, but I'm not. I'm really thinking, and I'm thinking about what I said, improving the world. This is my quick and dirty Photoshop. I have no skills in Photoshop, no skills of the type that you learn in design school. I don't need them, because upstairs in the building that you see is Mirko. He's upstairs. And downstairs is Milton Glejzer. All right. This is the world I live in. Does this world need more products? With all due respect to the wonderful woman who preceded me, there's no room here unless we fill the sky. There's no room for anything. This world needs less. This world needs a diet. This world needs to be a little less wasteful, a little more economical, harmonious, simple. And this is the focus of a lot of what I'm doing, as you'll see. Here's a man who influenced. Anybody recognize this man? Oh, shame on you. Shame on you. This is Carl Jung, Swiss psychiatrist and wise man. Now, the reason I show his picture is because he thought that one of the things an artist could do, an artist, and I include designers and artists, was help the time they live in by channeling up from the collective unconscious, balancing things, good things that are needed in the world. So the artist is not doing his selfish work, expressing the bullshit that's inside, but channeling up something therapeutic, something helpful that's needed in the world. That's why I like, one of the reasons I like Jung. Stanislaw Lem, Polish writer, narrowly and foolishly classified as a science fiction writer, but really a philosopher. He thought that technology was totally out of control in our society, and that we were like a man who had jumped off a building 100 stories tall. We're on the 30th floor, and we ask the people looking out the window, "How are we doing?" And they say, "Good, good, so far very good," but we're falling down, and we're starting to hit the bottom soon. Milton Glejzer. I took this photograph. I forced him to take this photograph. He hates to show photographs, but he posed in front of his poster, The Secret of Art, and he made himself look like some sort of a carnival salesman of some kind. Deliberately, he's looking tricky and devious in this picture. There's a great poster supposedly showing the secret of art, and what is it but it's a crumpled paper. The poster itself is the secret, all folded up like a piece of garbage thrown away. What does it mean? I don't know. Glejzer wants us to think, what does it mean? He's attracted our attention. He's saying something, we're not quite sure, but it's a very interesting piece of work. This man has influenced me tremendously. That's the only course, the only class in design I took was with him. I sneaked into his class after I met him, and he let me come in, and it was called Design and Psychology or something advanced, and it was wonderful. The best educational experience I ever had in my life. And he also is interested in the ethics of designers. If designers want to become a special professional class, one of the first things they have to develop is a high ethical standard. And he allowed me to photocopy something he did called The Road to Hell, which he wrote for designers. The Road to Hell is his test for designers. 12 steps on the road to hell. And he wants to know if the designers will take these steps. Step number 1 starts with, will you design a package to make it look bigger than it really is? And he says he's done that. He's done that. The bottom one is, will you design a product that you know is going to kill people? That's the extreme end of the design road to hell. And he's had many students, he told me. Just a few days ago, he told me he has many students who say, sure I will. I'll absolutely design that, because it's the consumer's choice. The consumer can say if they don't want to buy it, but I have my job to do. So there's a lot of ethical questions, and in this I have 200 copies of this sheet ready to give out afterwards to anybody who wants it. It's in my briefcase in the back. Don't let me forget about that. That's important. That's important. Anyway, these guys are my inspiration in part. And here's a work by Glejzer that shows how he combines the commercial obligation and his attempt to enlarge the mind of the audience beyond commercial considerations. It's a job for a paper company. The paper samples are just cutouts over there. It's like a spray coming out of a seltzer bottle. And it's interesting. It's intended for a graphic designer audience, so they're going to look at it and understand it. But there's an entirely different level here if you look at it as art, which he resists. He doesn't like when I say to him, tell me what's the bigger purpose of this, what's the artistic purpose. He doesn't want to talk about that, but there is a bigger purpose there. He's showing